Hey guys, welcome to Metal Sharpens Metal. My name is Daniel. Today we have a song called Early Grave by the band The Contortionist. Very cool band who's been around for a while now with some very different styles on their albums. We will talk about that a little bit later. Yeah, let's jump in. Kind of a creepy intro riff. The echoey vocals, yeah. Cut off a note there. This riff feels like it doesn't resolve. I think that's what makes it unsettling. This bridge gives me chills. All these creepy hands pulling. And I know it feels like you're drowning these days, and I know you question if it's too late, and my only hope is that you choose to stay. That guitarist gets so into it, I love it. Love this glitchy editing. Beautiful song. This is one of the more serious songs again on the channel. We have some fun here for sure, but yeah, there's some heavier subject matter. These are people writing about real life, their experiences, loss, sorrow. Yeah, it's real. The vocalist is named Michael Lessard, and he's been in this band for quite a few years now. Michael's voice is awesome. It's beautiful and haunting. It's in a lower key than a lot of people. Which is awesome. His range is like actually what his body is built for. We're gonna get into some other bands that just soar their vocals, and it sounds kind of epic in the recording. I won't lie. but then you watch them live and they're just flat. They're unable to hit it. They're screaming, like they're straining as hard as they can to try to hit those high notes. And it's like, you don't need to do that. And then a lot of these people will like smoke and drink as if their life depends on it.
I used to get wicked hammered.
And their voice gets even worse. And it's like, okay, well, I wish you would stay in your range. I really like that Michael does. They are a cool band. Michael seems like a really interesting guy. Every time I watch him, play live, he has like really interesting movements. He's gone more into the route of he's been inspired by drugs to write a lot of these songs, but I'd still like to meet him one day. That'd be really interesting.
I want to shake your hand. I want to shake his hand. I want to shake his hand.
Musically, this song is beautiful. It's melancholy as it reflects on this hard subject. Yeah, the harshness in the interludes and verses is a great representation of the frustration that the singer must be feeling from seeing his friends die and likely at his own personal struggles. Michael almost screams. It's just kind of like a yell that echoes. And I don't know if this is accurate. There's like a key change into the chorus is what it sounds like, because you go from this kind of unresolved something or another minor fifth beat. I don't know. I'm not a musical genius. I take lines and I swing them at circles and hope if they hit in the middle, it sounds good. But yeah, these guys are really good at making those emotive song themes that make you understand the point they're trying to get across. So it's really cool. Their drummer is a beast. He has grown so much since their first albums. He's unlocked new levels. I think he does really awesome stuff. He plays a lot on the cymbals, is musically inclined to go with what's appropriate for the song. This wasn't a very complex song, but he's written some very complex things in the past. So he's very good at both, at just complementing the song well. So this is, maybe an interesting song for you to hear on a metal channel. It's not strictly metal, right? And especially interesting because their old stuff sounded so different, so much heavier. But I really like that they've been able to grow and mature in their music and make stuff that's lasting and memorable. I personally like a lot of their old stuff still, but yeah, this new stuff is very mature and awesome. So at the beginning it said, this song is dedicated to all those who shared their story with us. And Michael said that this song was written kind of as a thank you to those fans who have shared their struggles with them over the years and have found strength in the Contortionist's music. The line at the beginning where he says, "worth the fix," I almost wonder if that's a reference to one of Michael's friends who lost his life doing drugs. Michael wrote about this guy in the last two albums, and I guess 2 albums ago is called Language. That was about kind of life and growing up, coming of age. In the second album that came after that called Clairvoyant, he talks about his friend's drug abuse, and the lyrics discussed the desire that main character had for his next fix, his next dose. That's very, very general. I chose this because it was kind of a nice one-off song. I just wonder if there's connections. It's definitely noble of Michael to encourage people stuck in this mindset to continue on and push forward without taking their own life. No one should commit suicide, not only because of the attachments that they have in their life to the people around them, as weak as those attachments might be, right? Our first song on this channel was by a band called Amora, and it was about a father leaving a young family, probably because he had depression and he was struggling with mental issues. Even though those relationships might have been very poor in the moment, taking his life would have definitely affected those closest to him. But the other reason that suicide is not the right choice is because God doesn't permit it, simply stated. Suicide is effectively a drastic attempt to wrest control from God in a gift that he has given us. I'm not going to pretend to be a therapist or psychologist, but since Michael also isn't a doctor and he's offered his opinion in this song, I figure mine is equally as valid. I don't suffer from extreme depression or anything like that, but the opening words of the song even allow for someone like me to have an opinion here. He says, "Oh, it's happened to us all when we lose control." In this fallen world, everybody's going to deal with depression to some degree. I've experienced it somewhat. And I also think that most people probably know somebody close to them who struggles with depression, and I'm no exception there. So I can at least partially grasp these thoughts. A very cool line in this one after he talks about losing control is he says, "The life that you chose where the dirt cloaks your bones." I think that's a really cool visual. In the music video, we saw those dirty hands grasping at Michael, and I think it's a great metaphor for the pull of the grave that all people have felt or will feel at some point in their lives in the future. The interesting difference here is that Michael says this person chose a life of the dirt cloaking their bones. So it kind of brings to mind somebody who's already acting dead and distant and detached from the world in some ways. So in the chorus, he commiserates with the suffering individual. He says, I know it feels like you're drowning these days. I know you question if it's too late. And then he says, my only hope is that you choose to stay because you're more than an early grave. In light of that, we have some options to assess. What are we calling people to as they seek to heal from depression? This song attempts to use the beauty of music and a call in the lyrics to continue on with life. It's a hope that Michael has, but the final decision is left up to the individual. And Michael wants them to choose life because he says they are worth more than an early grave. And he's right. But even though he's right, is he right for the correct reasons? This sentiment of being worth more than your grave is definitely accurate according to Christianity. Humans were created in the image of God, and that means we can think logically, we have moral responsibility, and we can reflect many of God's attributes. Now, these abilities have been marred by our fall into sin in the world now that's been cursed by sin, but we still have immeasurable worth in God, and we are called to that higher standard of life with Him. So with this background, we can see why taking our own lives would be a huge mistake. Humans don't only have a high calling if they happen to be Christian. This is a high calling on everyone's life because we're human, created by the Lord of all, to have a right relationship with our Creator. Jesus commands all men everywhere to repent, as the apostles tell us in Acts, regardless of if we claim to be Christian or believe in God or anything like that. Now, this doesn't mean also that a Christian will never go through depression. That happens often. And like I said, we live in a fallen world where we cannot have any guarantee that we will be preserved from every illness and ailment. That is not guaranteed to us. But we do have a hope and a promise for final healing from the most trustworthy promise giver who has ever existed. Things are guaranteed to get better for the Christian. If not in this life, then in the next one. It is highly encouraging for Christians to be able to read these promises of God in His Word and cling to that. So yeah, this was a more serious song, like I said, but I hope you got something out of that, and I thank you for coming to another Metal Sharpens Metal. See ya.